With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
Hello students, have a look at the question. Question is main enzyme of DNA replication is, options are DNA dependent RNA polymerase, DNA dependent DNA polymerase, RNA dependent RNA polymerase, RNA dependent DNA polymerase. So it seems like while seeing the option, it seems like they are a bit confusing, but if we'll do it in a systematic way, this is very simple. Answer is very simple. First of all, we should know what is DNA replication, because in the question they have asked about the main enzyme of DNA replication. DNA replication is the synthesis of new strands from the parent strand, synthesis of new daughter strand, synthesis of new daughter strand from the parent strand, that is the DNA replication. And for this process, the enzymes required is we have to choose. So, if we'll see the options, we know that in the option it is given first option, that is the DNA dependent RNA polymerase. DNA dependent RNA polymerase. So, if we'll see carefully, they have mentioned clearly it is a RNA polymerase, means this enzyme is used in the synthesis of RNA, because it is a RNA polymerase, but DNA dependent means template used here is the DNA. So synthesis of RNA, when template DNA is being used, this process is known as the transcription. So it is simple, or we can call it as it is a simple RNA polymerase which is used in the transcription. So it is not involved in the DNA replication. So it becomes simple, incorrect option. Next option we are having, that is DNA dependent DNA polymerase. So you have to solve all the options like this by making the template and what is the enzymes. DNA dependent DNA polymerase. Now in this case, again enzyme is the DNA polymerase. DNA polymerase means it does the synthesis of DNA, because it is a polymerase enzyme, that is DNA. Synthesis of DNA, template here is the DNA. Means DNA dependent is template here is the DNA. From DNA, when the new strands are being formed, that is known as the replication. It is one of the process, this process is called as the replication. And in the question they have also asked the main enzyme of DNA replication is, that is RNA dependent DNA polymerase. Yes, this is correct. This is simply called as a DNA polymerase enzyme also. Next is RNA dependent RNA polymerase. So here we can see RNA dependent RNA polymerase. So first of all, clearly it is a synthesis of the RNA, because it is a RNA polymerase. So it does the synthesis of RNA, and this synthesis of RNA is occurring as a template, using the template also as a RNA. It means when from RNA to RNA is being synthesized, from one type of RNA, different type of RNA is being synthesized, that enzyme is the RNA dependent RNA polymerase. So this is also incorrect. That is not the synthesis of the DNA. And last is RNA dependent DNA polymerase. So here we can write it as the last one. Last option we will also see, that is RNA dependent DNA polymerase. DNA polymerase means there is synthesis of DNA, because it is a DNA polymerase. Synthesis of DNA, and template here is the RNA. From RNA, synthesis of DNA, that is not the usual process, but in some viruses this is happened. So this particular enzyme, that is known as a reverse transcriptase, because it does the reverse transcription. Transcription is from DNA to RNA is being formed, but here from RNA two DNA is being formed. So that is the reverse transcription, and the name of this enzyme is the reverse transcriptase. So this is also incorrect option. Our correct option is option B. Hope you get it. Thank you.
For class 6 to 12, IIT JEE and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut app today.